This is KSDK, Channel 5, St. Louis. The following is a repeat of Eyewitness News Update that was broadcast earlier at 10 p.m. And now, Channel 5 Eyewitness News Update.
You're looking at the first victim of the mounting criticism of the Missouri State Lottery, the lottery's director, Jim Holmes. Good evening, I'm Karen Foss.
And I'm Dick Ford. The director of the Missouri Lottery Commission is calling it quits after a special meeting with the Lottery Commission in Kansas City. Executive Director James Holmes' resignation comes after a day full of rumors that he would step down. The Lottery Commission's been under fire from legislators who claim the commission spends too much money on its staff. There's also been criticism of the type of advertisements that have been used to promote the lottery. State lawmakers also say that revenues from the lottery are nowhere near expectations. Holmes is a former FBI agent. He says he was drawing a lot of fire from the legislature.
I'd have to say I've felt some extra pressure from the General Assembly based on some comments about sales are down because of mismanagement and leadership problems, but there has been no pressure from the commission in that regard.
Holmes says he quit on his own and was not asked to resign. Holmes' resignation is effective May 31st. He'll remain as director until a replacement is named.
High-pressure sales tactics and outright lies. That's what some St. Louisans say a company is using to sell magazine subscriptions. As Nightbeat reporter Huel Perkins tells us, the Better Business Bureau has now issued a warning. Huel?
Karen, the warning is against a firm called Circulation Builders Incorporated. Its salesmen are young and aggressive. Some complain they're downright pushy.
See the 20,000 right there?
Yeah.
That's how many credit points I have to collect between you and all your neighbors.
Yeah.
And I win the $1,000.
I see you was talking over there, Mr. Beard.
This is a typical sales pitch used by Circulation Builders of America, a Texas-based firm that specializes in door-to-door magazine sales. After Eyewitness News first aired complaints about the company last summer, they left town, but tonight they're back in the St. Louis area. And the Better Business Bureau is warning residents about the company's sales practices.
We are concerned because of their presentation that they're using, because it is high pressure, and because also that you may not receive the magazine at a later time.
In the last 3 years, the Better Business Bureau has received dozens of complaints about Circulation Builders. Debbie Paul says she felt pressured and lied to when a saleswoman from the company came to her door.
And I asked about one, what the price was, and before I even said I wanted it or not, she had written it down.
Salespeople have also been reportedly working the Shaw neighborhood in South St. Louis. In fact, one resident who said she was afraid to appear on camera told us she was threatened when she refused to buy magazines. The Better Business Bureau says you can fight back. Most areas require a sales permit. Ask the salesman to see his. Be firm. Don't buy what you don't need or want. Read and understand any contract you sign, and call the Better Business Bureau for the company's complaint record. Now, complaints about the company have also come from Clayton, Baldwin, and St. George. At least one salesperson has been arrested for not having the sales permit. And by the way, federal law gives you 3 days to cancel any door-to-door contract over $25.
That's good to remember. Seems very pervasive. Thank you, Huel.
Thank you. Searchers in Colorado are calling off the hunt for a fourth skier believed to be buried under 30 feet of snow. So far, 3 bodies have been recovered from the avalanche that hit a mountainside near Breckenridge, Colorado. That ski slope was designated as dangerous and off-limits. More than 250 rescue workers are using probes and dogs to try to find the 4th victim. That search will resume tomorrow. Eyewitness News has learned that last week's Gateway Hotel fire could have been much worse, but the arsonist who started the fire did a sloppy job. Federal and city investigators who returned to the scene today say much of the flammable liquid splashed around the upper floors apparently evaporated before it was ignited. So for the most part, the fire was confined to the hotel basement. The building's owner visited the site today. Denver businessman Victor Saya, who was seen with the pull-down hat there, talked with investigators, but he would not talk with reporters. The Gateway has been closed and undergoing renovation.
A St. Louis police officer remains in serious condition tonight after being wounded in a shootout last night. Officer Jeffrey Kowalski was shot once in the stomach while chasing 2 men suspected of being involved in a robbery of a laundromat on North Union. Within minutes of the robbery, Kowalski and his partner spotted a suspect in a car. A chase took place and the officer was shot. One of the suspects was also shot. 17-year-old Terrell Robinson is in serious condition at Regional Hospital. Police and state nursing home officials are now investigating a second case of patient abuse at an Arnold nursing home. Channel 5's Mike Owens reports for Nightbeat. The latest incident came to light after a female patient at the home was burned with a caustic chemical.
Sunday, 75-year-old Vera Justice was found burned by a chemical substance. She's a patient at Woodland Manor Nursing Home in Arnold. Now, police and nursing home officials say Justice is the second victim of someone at the home who's hurting patients. The first incident occurred the week of February 9th. The other patient is an elderly man whose respirator was intentionally shut off. He needs the breathing apparatus to survive. Channel 5 News learned of the latest incident during an interview with a source who demanded anonymity.
Is there any way for that respirator to be accidentally turned off?
No, there is not. You have to manually shut it off. On the switch, it has to be manually shut off. You have to know exactly what you're doing to shut it off. It can be unplugged, but it was not unplugged. It was shut off.
So what you're saying is that there's an attempted murderer?
I guess basically that is what I'm saying, yes.
The man survived the incident with the respirator, but is now reportedly close to death. It's not known if his current condition is related to the respirator problem. Police say the two incidents are related and think they may be connected to a recent change in management at the home. They say someone is trying to get back at the new managers. Our informant agrees.
When anytime you change administration, you do have those that are loyal to the old and don't like the new, and that could in fact maybe be a factor in this.
Try to hurt the place.
Yeah, to cause them to have a bad name, to eliminate some of their, to close them down, in fact, I guess, you know, to make the new people look bad.
Tomorrow, 6 nursing home workers will be asked to take polygraph tests. If any refuse, they could be fired. Meanwhile, off-duty Arnold police officers are patrolling the home, acting as security guards. The home hired them to improve internal security. Besides the addition of a security guard, other measures are being taken here at Woodlands. For example, these doors. Usually they're open to all comers, but now they are locked at night, and the only way you can get in is by ringing a buzzer. Reporting from Arnold, I'm Mike Owens, Channel 5 Eyewitness News.
Beside the patient abuse, police also have a drug case now in their hands. 30 tablets of a painkiller are missing from the home's drug supply. It's believed the same person may have also taken the drugs to make the home's manager look bad. A pay raise is on the agenda for the St. Louis Board of Aldermen tomorrow, but passage appears unlikely in light of the city's financial problems. St. Louis Mayor Vincent Schamel has ordered city department heads to dig deep into their budgets and find ways to save money. The city faces an immediate $4 million shortfall following Tuesday's Missouri Supreme Court ruling, which invalidated 2 city taxes. Officials say a freeze on hiring and purchasing equipment is in effect, and that deep cuts to city services are on the way. The mayor is also expected to ask the police department to forego a 4% pay raise in May. And tonight, another city official is announcing his resignation. One day after Airport Director Leonard Griggs resigned, Port Authority Director Ken Anderson says he's stepping down. The city says it plans to merge the Port Authority with the Office of Business Development, and that Anderson's resignation is not connected to the city budget crisis.
It's being called a major breakthrough in the research and understanding of Alzheimer's disease. Alzheimer's is a disease that affects more than 2 million Americans. It generally hits the elderly, causing memory loss, senility, and death. Doctors have known for a long time that Alzheimer's can run in families. Today, researchers in Massachusetts believe they have learned important information that may explain how the illness is inherited. This is a set of human chromosomes. All of the research indicates that when something goes wrong on chromosome 21, Alzheimer's results. People with the genetic disease Down syndrome have an extra chromosome 21. They usually get Alzheimer's in their 30s or 40s. Scientists also studied these clumps of protein that form in the brains of Alzheimer's patients. It was discovered they are controlled by a gene found on chromosome 21. Because of these findings, researchers are confident that they will one day be able to isolate the specific gene that causes Alzheimer's.
The promise it holds for all Alzheimer's patients is that there is the possibility when the gene is isolated that the knowledge we gain about the primary defect will lead to some sort of treatment.
Scientists do not believe that that treatment is in the near future, but there is great hope tonight that new understanding of the disease will bring rapid progress in a field that up to now had been considered rather hopeless.
And just ahead, a major presidential candidate says he will not run.
And in cover story, a former Miss America says she was healed in a miraculous way.
I'm Judd Hirsch. You know the joke about AIDS? Some people would rather die than discuss it. Isn't that funny? Right now, we know exactly how to educate people so they can protect themselves from exposure. But it means talking about sex and things that intravenous drug users do. You can protect yourself and the people you care about by getting the straight facts about AIDS for free. No joke. Write AIDS research. New York 10116.
When the Blues take to the ice, we're all out there working together to win the game. The same goes for the Cardinals.
Now we need you to join our team to help reach another goal.
We need you to join the Dollar Help Team. Dollar Help provides heat grants for people who can't afford to heat their homes during the long, cold winter.
Thank you for giving.
For most of us, finding a good parking space can often be very difficult. To the handicapped, it can be almost impossible. The next time you see a parking space with this sign, remember, it's reserved for someone who really needs it. If you want to help, write the Disabled American Veterans, Cincinnati, Ohio, 45214.
30 years ago, a dream came true when Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital opened its doors to admit the first 30 patients. From the beginning, the hospital has pioneered in the development of new techniques and facilities to treat patients ranging from the newborn to adolescents. During 1986, over 100,000 patients will be cared for, children from all backgrounds, all walks of life, all religious denominations. For 3 decades, Cardinal Glennon has been the hospital that cares for kids.
Well, there's one less potential presidential candidate tonight. New York Governor Mario Cuomo says he will not try for the Democratic nomination in 1988. The 54-year-old Cuomo had been considered a possible frontrunner. Well, they say they can, but do faith healers actually heal anyone?
Tonight in part 4 of TV Preachers, Healing or Stealing, Rick Edlund talks with a former Miss America who's convinced the answer is yes.
Just that fast. It was so quick that I hate to say seconds because that throws people off, but it was just in a matter of seconds. My left leg just grew out to be the same length as my right.
Cheryl Pruitt believes in faith healing, and with good reason. As a child, a car accident left her in a body cast with a cracked back and crushed leg. Doctors said she'd never walk again or have children. But then came the first of what she feels are 2 miracles.
After 3 months, a new bone was in my left leg that God had formed little by little. It took a long time. Little by little, this bone formed, just wrapped like a cocoon of calcium around and around and around. Well, of course, when they cut the body cast off and they stood me up and examined it, the doctors were dumbfounded that there was a bone there and that it was good and strong and healthy and everything was wonderful and I could walk.
She could walk, but one leg was left shorter than the other. It stayed that way for years until she saw a faith healer in Jackson, Mississippi.
I just said to God, I just want you to do anything and everything you want to do for me. I just want you to do it. I open myself up and I ask you to do it. Well, within a matter of a few minutes at the most, a few seconds most probably, my left leg grew out to be the same length as my right.
Cheryl figures it was part of a plan. 5 years later, she walked evenly down the runway as Miss America, and she now has a baby boy.
And your message now is that God can heal.
Yes, He can. He does, and that He is the healer. Jesus is the healer. God the Father is the healer.
Cheryl's doctor agrees with her up to a point. Over the phone, he told me he's leery of the word miracle, but he can't fully explain her case. He says her recovery is really quite unusual. Other doctors agree not everything can be explained.
There are certain areas where faith can lead to resolution of a symptom. I think one gets into trouble when a faith healer is utilized entirely for one's medical state of health.
To Cheryl Pruitt, no explanation is necessary. For her, the proof is her good health. For Cover Story, I'm Rick Edlund, Channel 5 Eyewitness News.
And tomorrow night, Rick will conclude his series by talking with doctors who say faith healing can lead to death.
And coming up in weather, I really have a hard time saying this, a winter storm is approaching the Midwest.
Bob Richards will have the details.
Did you ever have one of those days?
Oh, no.
When everything breaks at once?
Time for the book.
Introducing Fix It Yourself, the new series from Time Life Books. It shows you how to fix just about anything that breaks around your house.
Here it is, the flywheel's jammed.
This isn't hard at all. Wedge the end of a broom handle against an impeller and slowly work back and forth.
A broom handle? What are you doing?
Just what the book says. There. Got it. All fixed.
That's great. Now let's fix the dishwasher.
Each book troubleshoots the problem and solution, so there's no more guesswork or wasted time.
Here's your problem. It's the timer.
But where's the timer?
Oh, right here.
Next, follow the step-by-step instructions for your specific model type.
Oh, gee, that's easy. And it won't take long either.
And the directions couldn't be simpler.
Okay, I got the timer.
Keeping a solid grip on the timer plug, wiggle it away from the timer.
That was easy.
Fix It Yourself covers everything from major appliances to lawn and garden, lighting and electricity, even basic car repair. All with the tips and techniques the pros use. So let Fix It Yourself help you take charge of all your household repairs. Call now for your first book, Major Appliances. Then about every other month, you'll receive another book. Keep only the ones you want. Cancel anytime. Fix It Yourself. You'll never know when you'll need it.
Call 1-800-228-3600 to examine Major Appliances free for 15 days. When you decide to keep it, pay just $12.99 plus shipping and handling. Other volumes will follow one about every other month. Keep only the ones you want. Cancel anytime. So call 1-800-228-3600. That's 1-800-228-3600.
Bob, say it isn't so. We want to put this all behind us.
Looks like we are going to get some snow, but it looks like at this point it's going to be relatively light. We're not going to see a major winter storm by any stretch of the imagination, but still the chance for some accumulating snow. We'll talk more about that in a moment. Right now, outside we go, and it's a rather cloudy evening over the downtown area. Mostly cloudy out at the airport. Officially 34 degrees with a humidity of 75%. No wind to speak of, a steady barometer, and a high temperature today of 41 degrees. Now, we're going to begin back in time last night, showing you exactly how things transpired. Watch the southwestern part of the country as the big major storm starts to spin its wheels over New Mexico. You can see all the clouds and all this moisture coming in on the jet stream out of the Pacific into the lower plain states. Now, late this evening, here's a picture of the Midwest. You can see all this moisture to our south, but here's what I mean when I say that we're not going to see a big major storm here. Most of the moisture, computer enhanced, remains to our south, and that's because a storm that's centered over New Mexico is going to be tracking several hundred miles to our south. Here's the projected storm track over the next 24 to 48 hours. You can see it is well to our south, but we will still be close enough to it to give us a little bit of snow. Here's the projected snow track extending all the way through the lower and mid-Mississippi valleys into the Ohio Valley. We're going to be on the northern edge of that snow band, so again, we will see some accumulations, but nothing all that heavy. In advance of the storm, winter storm watches and possible warnings are posted tonight, covering Oklahoma with a winter storm watch for southwest Missouri tomorrow and tomorrow night. Of course, it's a storm that bears watching and will continue to do that throughout the night and the early morning hours. Here's the map tonight and showing you that storm at the moment centered over western New Mexico. Rainfall and snow extending as far to the east as extreme southwest Missouri late this evening. We do have some recent reports of some light rain spreading out there. Here's the maps as they go into motion. Really only one feature on the weather map for the period, and that's the storm developing. You can see it centered well to the south of us. Any storm that's going to give us heavy snow is going to be farther to the north, but in this case, we will just be on the northern fringes of the storm, just catching the snow band to the north. By tomorrow night and Saturday, looks like our best chance for any snow that would accumulate would come at that period of time. After Saturday, things will clear out and cool off. Here it goes in forecast form for the rest of tonight. It should remain dry, cloudy skies, overnight lows down to 28 degrees. Tomorrow, cloudy skies with a few periods of snow, possibly developing as early as mid to late afternoon. Maybe a problem for rush hour. The snow that falls under cloudy skies will be a wet, slushy type of snow, so I don't think it's going to be an icy sort of thing. High temperatures of 37 degrees. Tomorrow night, periods of snow, overnight lows down to 27. Then for the rest of the period, check out my 5-day forecast. Snow continues on Saturday under mostly cloudy skies. It will taper off as flurries late, high of 33. Will clear out and cool off Sunday and Monday with a high only in the 30s. Warmer weather expected by Tuesday. High temperatures generally in the low 40s. Of course, it's a storm that bears watching. A little bit early to call exactly how much we will get. We'll have more on that tomorrow morning on Today in St. Louis.
Thanks, Bob.
Okay, Bob, coming up in sports, the Blues win big when they have to. Mike Bush will have details.
And it's time to take our weekly trip into the highlight zone.
I retired 5 years ago, but today is payday. You see, last year my house was burglarized while I was away, but the burglar isn't in jail now. He's working to pay me back. And every month, here's my check. And isn't it better that he works to pay me for what he did than just sitting in jail on the taxpayers' money? Don't let him cost. Make him pay.
For information on alternative punishment, contact MOCI.
If you're having trouble reading my name and who I play for, call the Missouri Coalition for Adult Literacy. Did you know that 26,000 adults in Missouri are receiving free instructions in reading, math, and other basic skills? It's done with one-on-one coaching. Call the Missouri Coalition for Adult Literacy. For more information about free reading help, call 727-7396.
Start your day with Today in St. Louis, tomorrow and every weekday.
I'm Jennifer Blome.
And I'm Tom O'Neill. Did you ever think of consulting a psychic before you make a decision?
There are people who do just that and claim it helps them. We'll take a look at psychics tomorrow at 6:30.
Do you and your spouse both work? If so, there's an important tax advantage that you should be aware of. You can claim a deduction based on the income of the spouse who earns less. The deduction is 10% of the lower earnings up to a maximum of $3,000. To qualify, you must file a joint return. And remember, you can take the deduction even if you don't itemize.
A public service of the Missouri Society of CPAs and this station.
In our country, where physical illness gets the most advanced medical treatment, a disease that affects 35 million Americans goes virtually untreated.
Why don't you just get up and pull yourself together? Snap out of it.
The disease is mental illness, a disease that's often misunderstood, so its victims wind up neglected, isolated.
There is nothing more I can do for you.
But mental illness can be treated once you learn to see the sickness. For an informative booklet, call the American Mental Health Fund.
Well, the Blues needed this one real bad.
Boy, and they sure got it. They went out and got it tonight. And it was about time. And if the North Stars didn't know that, they do now, because the Blues just cleaned their clocks tonight behind Mark Hunter, Greg Pavlowski, and Cliff Ronning, who each scored 2 goals. The Blues beat the North Stars tonight 6-2. Let's go to the arena. The San Diego Chicken was in town tonight. He says, Willie No Star. He's referring to Willie Plett, who got into some trouble with Jim Pavis. Both these guys were given a game misconduct. A lot of fights tonight, but a big first period for the Blues. Doug Gilmore to Greg Pavlowski right in front here. He scores to make it 1-0. Later in the first, the Blues will win the faceoff, and watch Mark Hunter. He'll get the puck and then slap it home to make it 2-0 Blues. Less than a minute later, they would score again. A scramble in front. Cliff Ronning is there to make it 3-0 Blues. It was 4-0 after 1. They go on to win it. The final score tonight from the arena, 6-2, St. Louis. All right, Chicago beats the Rangers 5-2. That is now a final, and Pittsburgh and Philadelphia skate to a 4-4 tie. In college basketball, the last time St. Louis U and UMSL played one another was 1984. The game went to overtime. Well, what a difference a couple of years make. The Bills won that one in 1984, and they won again tonight, only this time they beat the Rivermen 90-57. Let's go to Kiel. The Billikens just much too much. Ted Mimlitz will hit this one right here. He had 11 tonight. Then the ball will go into the corner. Roland Gray, he was hot from the outside. This time he'll put it up from three-point range. Yes, sirree. It was 75-54 Bills. Right as the game comes to an end, Paul Jensen on the break. He'll go in for the stufferoo for 2, and the Bills win it again, the final 90-57. Also tonight, Kansas is back in first place in the Big 8. They beat K-State 84-67, and WashU was a winner tonight. Let's go to Bloomington, Indiana. Number 2 Indiana against Wisconsin. Dick Enberg and Al McGuire watch from the stands. Indiana nearly blows this one. Up by 2, Steve Alford with the 3-pointer. Then Minnesota with one last chance to tie it, but this half-court shot just misses, so Indiana hangs on to win it. Final 72-70. The voice of the Cubs and former Cardinal broadcaster Harry Carey is resting comfortably tonight in a Palm Springs hospital following a mild stroke. Word is, however, Harry will be at the microphone in time for opening day. The double tonight from Fairmount numbers 1 and 4 worth $6.60. And it's Thursday night. That's the night we take our trip into the zone.
Beyond the dimensions of the playing field, there is another dimension. The dimension not just of hits and plays, but of the bizarre. At the next foul pole up ahead, you've just crossed over into the highlight zone.
All right, let's begin with boxing and the punch of the week. Florissant Sterile Anthony with a right hand. See you later, scoring a knockout. The best punch taker of the week. Hey, isn't that Punky Brewster? She does pretty well for a while. Uh-oh. All right, on to golf. The shot of the week, George Burns at the Andy Williams San Diego Open on 15 and right back into the hole. Best surfboard ride of the week at the Bonsai Pipeline. It's Derek Ho. Hey, where'd he go? He must have taken a fall, right? Wrong. There he is as he breaks through. On to hockey and the check of the week. Mark Messier breaking the glass. Second best check, Herb Ragland. Boom. See you later, buddy. Best shot in the NBA from half court. It's the Lakers and the Celtics, and this is Magic Johnson. And you guessed it, at the buzzer, it is good. High school basketball now. Darryl May from Torrance, California, 85 feet away, and it's good. And then there was 13-year-old Jason Burns from La Cañada, California, about 80 feet away, and it's good. And finally, sometimes, just sometimes, we use footage of things that might not have anything to do with sports, but only if they're really, really deserving. Like this. We call it Dr. Heimlich, the early years. And you gotta love it. That's a look at sports.
And John Pritzker coming up next.
A doctor who could be on a top medical team at any hospital. Pilots with the right stuff to fly for any airline. A machinist, a construction engineer, an electronics technician. They work in every field, and they could work anywhere. They're all working in the Navy. Some of the best people in their fields are in the Navy. Men and women who believe being the best at what they do means more when it's done for their country. Navy know-how. It's working for America.
In this unique world of exploration, it's okay to build castles in the air, because putting foundations under them is what we are all about. Shaping the imagination into real experiences that you can touch and keep forever. St. Louis Magnet School programs, the right choice for you.
Older Missourians, mixing your medications can be hazardous. If you take several different medications and don't know anything about them, you may be risking your health. Remember, medicines only work when used as directed. Make sure you get the answers about your medications. For more information about medication management, call toll-free 1-800-642-1211 for an office near you.
He's not gonna come. He's gonna come. He's not gonna come.
Kids are so trusting. They count on their parents for love and attention.
Go play. Said he's gonna come. He'll be here. He's not gonna come. Let's go. Yeah, come on. Let's go play ball. He's gonna be here. He's not gonna come.
If you're a parent living apart from your children, they still need you and your financial support. Make your child support payments promptly. And remember, it's the law. Kids are worth every penny.
Freeburg, Illinois is a long way from South America, but John Pritzborn says the two places have something in common.
From the distance, the Espenscheid farm looks peaceful, but there is tension here, and it's coming from the cattle. You could say they act jealous. And here's why. Llamas. Ever since these South American foreigners moved in, they've received most of the attention. But Betty can't help treating the Duke, Ladybird, and Bonnie like her best friends.
They've all got different dispositions. But, well, really, I'd rather spend my time with them than a lot of humans.
They can also trace their ancestors better than some humans. These were the famous pack animals once used by the Incas. And since 1982, they've become the in-pet for America's well-to-do, except when they spit.
Well, it smells awful bad.
Their breath?
Yes. It's their cud is what they're spitting up.
And the first thing you notice about a llama is the way it walks. Notice that shuffle? That's because both legs on the left side of the body are moving forward while both legs on the right side of the body are moving backwards, which is just the opposite of the way a horse walks. That's why you get a little bit of a shuffle. Maybe that's where Michael Jackson learned this dance. Like many California stars, he recently purchased a llama. And look at those big, quivering lips. Oh, I'm sorry. Llamas are a bit sensitive.
I think I'll always have llamas. I've raised horses and dogs, and, well, we've got cattle, but llamas are here to stay. Yeah.
Meanwhile, the cattle seem to silently wish they'd just move away. In Freeburg, Illinois, I'm John Pertzborn, Channel 5 Eyewitness News.
And llamas are also becoming a little more expensive. A baby llama sells for about $6,000.
It's not even a deduction on your tax return. Good night, everybody.
The preceding was a repeat of this evening's Eyewitness News Update. For today's latest breaking news, weather, and sports, join Jennifer Blome and Tom O'Neill at 6:30 for Today in St. Louis.